And it looks like we're live. Hello, 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 everybody. It's 2026. In case you hadn't known, in case you didn't know, it's April 2026. In case you didn't know, and well, if I didn't think it was time to start live streaming again, yeah, that took a while to for me to get going. I had some personal stuff that I need to take care of. I had a short story that I wanted to write before I finished chapter 12. But chapter 12 is done, and as you can hopefully see, we need some music. There it is. It should be there. I need to hear that music as well. There we go. Okay. And, well, as you can hopefully see, we have a new look of the live stream. I remember some of the feedback that we did last time, that you guys had last time, with my stream look. So I tried to have the best of both worlds. So right now we have a new, I guess you can go like this. We have a new bar that a new progress bar, new red progress bar, going up to 100,000 this time, 100,000 words instead of just 50. And the goal for now is 75, which, as you can see on the word count, we're close. I wouldn't say I'm in the middle of chapter 13, but I'm getting there. So yeah, I finished chapter 12. Oh yeah, and then we of course have the story so far, the summary, and the chapter what we are writing right now. I actually don't remember if that story so far thing has chapter 13. Whatever, because it shouldn't, but whatever. I think it does actually. Let me fix it. So if I go here, it's been so long, and I press here, you should still be able to see me, right? And then I go in here, and I would like, no, that's the wrong one. And I would like this one. Yes, here we are. So this one needs to be deleted. Okay. And I just press there, and I press there, and okay. Okay, I think everything went well. Sarah Norwell is here. Happy first stream of 2026. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, Sarah. Oh, it's so good to see you. See you in the chat. I hope you're doing well, and I hope your writing is going well. As you can see, I don't quite remember where we ended up in our word count. Actually, we can see that, of course. Of course we can see that. Because if I press here, I have my word count sheet. So I think we had 4 live streams after NaNoWriMo. And I think I started 2026 on day 35. I'm not entirely sure about that. But anyway, I have written almost 10,000 words. So just about 8,000 words. And I stopped counting like the actual dates. So I had like, day 31. I guess you can see it here. I had like this. No, okay, that was before. That was after. Never mind. I had like day 31. I didn't write anything. Day 32, I didn't write anything. Day 34, I wrote something. Hey, Flaze Flame is here. saying hello, streamer. Welcome, Flaze Flame. What you doing? Well, I am getting back onto things. Getting back on top of things with our writing. But as you can see, I am now at 69,815 words written. I've written every day for on this. I've written every day for quite a while now, and I've gotten into a good rhythm of like 2 or 3 plus hours. Even though, and this is like a testimony, I guess you could say, to the difficulties I've been having with chapter 12. This, for example, day 46, I'm pretty sure that took me 2 hours to write under 100 words because I just didn't know what was going on or how I had to do stuff. So chapter 12 is pretty bad, I think. It's way too long. I don't know if you saw my little, I think I experienced writer's block video. But I do think I actually experienced writer's block here. Flaze Flame saying, so my editing definitely burned me out, but this book I don't want to write it. But when I don't, I am pulled to write it. Well, isn't that interesting? I get what you're feeling. Like, honestly, I think one of the best things that I could have done was to take a couple of months off from this book that we have right here, and finish something else, and then get back to it, and finish the chapter. So I want to show you something. So we have chapter 9 that starts on page 101, and chapter 10. Chapter 10 starts on 114, so that's 13 pages, right? Chapter 11 here is on page 133. So what's that? That's 19 pages, all right. Chapter 11 is 10 pages long. And then we have chapter 12. There's a reason why I called it Never Ending Chapter. Because it ends here in the beginning of page 183. That's 40 pages. That's longer than all of my short stories just for one chapter, and it's so I know it's bad. I know it probably needs to be split into 2 at least, and then it needs to get cut by half probably, but that's for the future. That's for editing in the future. Hey, Liquid Hour is here. Hello, bro. Long time no see. It is indeed very good to have you here, Liquid Hour. How have you been during my absence? Well, of course, I say absence. I hope that you guys have noticed as well that I've started going into a bit more long-form content for the channel, which I think I've been having a lot of fun with, especially the last one, where I talk about the difference between writing with pen and writing with typing with a keyboard on a computer. So we should probably get going here. So no, I'm not gonna. I think I want to start by reading what I've written so far for chapter 13, just to sort of get into it, right? And then, yeah, I'm not gonna read chapter 12. Definitely not. That's too long. But I am going to talk about what happened in chapter 12. So, one of the reasons why. Oh, Liquid Hours had some adventures here and there. Channel grew a lot in the meantime. Oh, that's awesome to hear. Cool, dude. Congratulations. nice to hear. Yes. Where was I? So, one of the reasons that chapter 12 was so terribly difficult for me was that, and I think we talked about it during the last streams of last year. But this is where it's quite an important chapter because it explains how magic works, right? In my universe, and I want magic to be mysterious. I want it to be, I think it's called soft magic, right? The hard magic is like what Brandon Sanderson does, like you eat a crystal and then stuff happens. I haven't read Mistborn yet, but I believe that's how the magic works in that universe. But I want it to be much more like the Force, you know? It's mystical, it's almost religious in that sense. So it's a lot about feeling. And I came up with this as Vesper is taught that. Vesper is taught nature magic by Rhaenyra, the spirit of the Warhammer, of course. I came up with this idea that she would start during her learning journey, I guess you could say, she would imagine herself in a forest, and this flow of magic that she could feel would be a stream, and she needed to get this to a lake. So she needed to get this to a lake, and it's very non-intangible. That's why I said it needs to be rewritten. But then this thing happens where she is actually, while she's unaware of it, she ends up pulling her own spirit. So she ends up almost dying. And a lot of the chapter is her trying to use this nature magic without her pulling any more on her spirit, and finding a way to get herself out of this imaginative forest that sort of ends up being like a nightmare she's trapped in. And yeah, that happens. And she succeeds by coming out. She's not going to die, of course. There are some bits and pieces in here that I think are really good, that I'm very happy with, but most of it is trash. So that means we are moving on to chapter 13. And in chapter 13, as you can read right over here, where it says, I forgot what it said, following her deadly struggles down in the catacombs and her failing something. What does it say? And her failures to convince other people of what she knows, Vesper desires to tell Grand Protector Baldric directly about the plot to kill him. Oh yes, that is where we are, and that is where we'll begin. Flame Flame says, taking multiple months break is something I could never do now. The things you can get away with in the first draft. Well, I don't necessarily... So I think it's of course great that you have this pull that you want to finish it, right? But what I was alluding to was just put it aside and work on something else, and maybe you get renewed what's it called? Not faith in your but you know, renewed love in your book. That was sort of what happened to me. Anyway, shall we begin? Chapter 13. The bruises were mostly gone from Vesper's left arm, but it still ached a little when she tried to move it while ascending the stairs to the courtyard of dead soil. Lemon had moved to her other shoulder, so the slightly impaired movement didn't interrupt his forceful cuddles against Vesper's neck. The two had... I forgot about how difficult... I forgot how much of a skill reading aloud is. The two had already spent quite some time in the catacombs rejoicing in their reunion, but it hadn't been enough for Lemon. Vesper grimaced as she attempted to lift her left arm up over her head. That was her intention anyway, but it hardly raised above her shoulder. Much to the dismay of Lemon, who chomped on Vesper's ear to show his dissatisfaction, Vesper made sure she had no trouble doing the same maneuver with her right arm, and did so without trouble or hurt. There was without trouble and no trouble in the same sentence. Yeah, I don't know if you remember it, but Vesper, of course, she blocked a fallen rock with her arm. I was wearing a gauntlet. But as a result, it was bruised, and she had a sling as she had it in a sling as she went into chapter 12. She ended up using nature magic to actually heal it. But a consequence has been that it has been, because she has been through so much and has been healed so much with blessed water and now nature. A consequence is now that she's actually lost some of her, not some feeling, but like some movement in her arm, and it aches a little. Livestream says, that's more of a first draft thing. All the love I have for editing is seeing it get finished, and even that is a messy affair. It's always, this is bad, it needs more editing every time. I know that from my short stories, and I'm not sure if I look forward to editing this now that we are on like page 190 already. Where's the red bar on the side? Well, I believe the red bar is down here now. Yeah. So my word progress is visible with a red bar, but we're utilizing, I think this framing is utilizing the space a little bit better, and I can have all the things that I want. So, all right. Maybe, yes, here we are. Maybe her left arm just needed some rest and time to recover, she hoped. Her thoughts, however, circled around Tabitha Peter's warnings of letting it heal naturally without the aid of blessed water. But maybe Renaid's magic was different. At least she didn't have to wear that annoying sling anymore. So I don't remember if it was annoying, but that's something for future me. As she closed in on the courtyard of Black River's keep, Vesper's mind also circled around what had happened down in the catacombs after her and Lemon's reunion, or actually the conversation she had had with Renaid, which had left her uneasy to say the least. Playflame said, what about a bar just for the sake of it? Maybe a hydration bar. The stream is nothing about it. To be fair, it's still a bar, it's just laying down now. You know? A bar graph can be horizontal as well as vertical. So the bar is still there. But no, you're not getting a vertical bar. Tell me one more time, Vesper recalled the spirit's voice asking with great concern. He had needed to be absolutely sure, he said before Vesper again went over everything that had happened in her imagination. From the warm flow being easily directed to her focus point lake, to the sudden arrival of the strong flow and how it had hurt. So that was one of the things that I had trouble with. Magic is described as a flow, as an energy, like a stream. And I have the warmth flow, which is nature magic in this case, and then strong flow, which is a spirit. And it's sort of, the term flow gets thrown around a lot. How that hurts her very much to control and hold it. And how the lush green forests of her imagination had turned to a grim dead nightmare, where she felt trapped with no means of escaping. Vesper's voice had changed to proud as she retold how she got the idea to force herself out of the nightmare by pushing the branch's flow beyond the lake and forest, ending her tale with an unconcerned statement about her body being freezing cold before rapidly heating up. It turned out that she should have been a lot more worried about her cold body, though. Renaith had been silent for a while after Vesper had recollected the events, before finally speaking with much concern. That was just mentioned. He had great concern before. So let's just 2 times. Vesper, I need you to listen carefully, and I need you to remember what I'm about to tell you. The spirits voiced from everywhere and nowhere. It is very important. Vesper had pricked up her ears amidst her recovery, and the insistent little yellow bird amidst her recovery and the insistent little yellow bird. There are much magic in this world, and it takes many forms. Some who use the power of the waves or the roaring fire. That's a bit weird. Some who. It's not. No, don't have who there. Those who, like the Fey folk, connect with the trees, and others again who can command the earth beneath our feet. I've even heard tales of sorcerers who call upon violent storms with devastating lightning following its wake. That might be too specific. Anyway, maybe it had been because of all the struggles that Vesper was still recovering from, but she hardly noticed Lemon's cuddle attempts at all as Renaith spoke. She of course knew of the paladins and the blessed water and the Templars as sacred fire, but she had never imagined there to be other types of magic beyond the walls of Black River's keep. So much pagan magic. Pagan is something that we need to be much more... it needs to be a bigger thing, I think. It wasn't really a thing in chapter 12 at all that nature magic would be pagan magic. Place where it's not as appealing as it used to be. I'm sorry. I'm guessing it's a red bar, that's not as appealing. But I think it works, so I'm gonna stick with it. Also because I don't want to change things up again. But there is one force in this world that we Fey folk revere above all else. One that is bound so tightly to the great cycle that they can feel hardly interchangeable. What is it? Vesper had asked, her mouth as wide open as her copper eyes fixed on Renaith's tomb and warhammer. The spirit itself. All creatures have it, and it is by that we Fey folk and our companions bind ourselves, and our one life, might be say shared life. It makes us both stronger, but also much more reliant on each other, both for good and ill. It is when the trees between realms deliver the spirit to the Amber Father in its sleep that our mortal shell dies and withers away. And it is when the Amber Father awakens our spirit that we return to this world in a new life, as Fey folk, humans, birds, or any other creature that walk this world. Vesper had wanted to ask Renaith how all that worked with Haven and the teachings of the 5 pillars that the chapters preached, but the spirit had continued without time for questions, clearly marking the seriousness of what he wanted to say. I tell you this because I need you to understand just how powerful the spirit is. Renaith's voice was deep and almost dark now, making Vesper feel uneasy. Almost dark doesn't... It should be like serious and almost scolding, because I'm gonna say it like a little bit later that she feel like she's being scolded. I don't like the almost dark thing, but whatever, it's there. Making Vesper feel uneasy. It is the force between life and death, and the only force always present when the other magics are used to take life away. But why are you telling me all of this? Vesper asked. Her eyes were teary. She felt as though she was being scolded, and she had no idea why. It was one of the worst feelings she knew. Because I believe that the strong flow you felt was indeed your own spirit. Renaith's words hit Vesper harder than a temple stone thrown at her had hit her arm, her gauntlet-wearing arm. But I didn't mean to. I didn't know, she argued with trembling voice, eager to defend herself. I know you didn't have the intention to use your spirit, Rainmaid had said. His voice was back to calm and reassuring, having realized the state that Vesper found herself in. And I want you to know that you did not do anything wrong, but that doesn't mean that what happened wasn't very dangerous, even unintentionally. I was counting on teaching you this when you had more experience and control, but it looks as if you are a lot more powerful than I could ever have hoped for. Vesper sniveled and dried her eyes. She had never been called powerful before and didn't know what to say. Using one's spirit can be as powerful. I don't like. It's like ×3 now. 3 times powerful in quick succession, so let's not have it like that. Powerful as it can be dangerous, maybe even more so the latter. Renate held one of his pauses to make sure Vesper chewed on his words. Magic always comes at a cost, remember that. Another pause. Vesper only had to look at the grey dry and withered branch in the catacomb's black stone floor to know what the Warhammer spirit meant. Then he had finished his lecture. I'm sorry if I scared you, but I was terribly concerned that you accidentally was going to use your own. Your own spirit in your attempt to heal your arm. Not only had it not worked, as one cannot use their own being to mend themselves, you could not have used the branch's power to mend the bush from where you cut it. Other processes have to do their work for that. But using the power of one's own spirit means shortening your own lifespan. There's a lot of own there. A lot. Oops. By how much is determined by how much you take. Vesper mulled over what Renate had said as she walked up the last stairs to the courtyard, still trying to move her impaired left arm. Lemon back to cuddling her neck while making a sound Vesper could only describe as a purr that cats do. But she didn't really notice, instead having a hard time believing that she had almost used her own life on accident. It was a scary thought, and it made her experience in her nightmare even worse. She wondered what she was going to tell Afia. Maybe she wasn't going to tell her anything when her older sister finally got back from her mission. Nighttime had fallen over Black River's keep as Vesper walked out into the cool air. She and Lemon had spent a lot more time down in the catacombs than intended, and from the looks of the deserted keep... Deserted courtyard? Courtyard... They had also missed the evening prayer by quite a lot. She could easily sneak back to her and her sister's quarters, like many other times. But there would still be punishment waiting in the morning. Perhaps she could find Chapter Peter or Chapter Bragi and convince them to conduct an extra prayer. She looked to the temple and walked past. Looked to the temple as she walked past. There was light shining through the unfinished long windows, and not just dull light from the few large candles that burned throughout the night. Maybe the evening prayer was still underway, and she could sneak in and join. She was sure that there used to be more activity outside the temple, though. I have the comment here. Last sentence weird. I think it was a bit weird. Flame says, how can she describe it if she didn't notice the purr in the first place? What did I say? No, she noticed it. And that was just a way to describe it. It's mostly that birds do. It's not a purr, but I don't know how else you're supposed to describe it, so that will do. But she did notice it. Still trying to move her impaired arm. Oh yeah, okay, so she didn't really notice. Yeah. I guess you're right. I think what I wanted to say, like she was absent-minded and she didn't really notice it, but she noticed it. But whatever. But you are right. So we have commented that. Where were we? Yes. There was also no mass being preached by the High Chapter as Vesper moved towards the temple windows. Usually his booming voice could be heard all over the courtyard. Vesper knew that from experience. Vesper looked through the tall windows of the unfinished wall and into the temple. She could hear voices, but not the words spoken. Over by the reservoir, High Chapter Arwen and Grand Protector Baldric, I'm supposed to say. Grand Protector Baldric stood in conversation. They were talking to someone behind one of the temple's great big columns. The High Chapter was holding what looked like a large, beautiful and shiny silver cup in his hands. Grand Protector Baldric is in there, Vesper told Lemon. Should we tell him everything we know? We're gonna get in trouble for missing the evening prayer either way. Vesper contemplated the situation. She really didn't feel like going into the temple, interrupting whatever was going on, and more than likely be on the receiving end of an even larger scolding from the High Chapter. He would probably double the punishment as well. Besides, Vesper was immensely tired from all of his struggles and wanted nothing more than sleep in a bunk bed, than to sleep. But on the other hand, the two had had no luck in convincing anyone else of what they had. And there we are. Playframe says he didn't really notice, but had the spare capacity to describe it as a perp. I'll figure something out in the editing. But yes. Have you never had a pet that where you're like, you're thinking of something else while you're petting them, and you sort of, while you're thinking of one thing, you're sort of noticing that they're doing something weird still? I think that can happen. Did my video feed? So this one works. Okay, that's cool. How long has that been going on? My camera. Very nice. I like that. What if I select this? And then we do like this. And that's bloody impressive. You didn't tell me you could speak while not moving your face and mouth at all. I'm a ventriloquist. It's one of my many talents. Isn't it wonderful when things like this happen? We can't have a nice live stream where nothing goes wrong. Now can we? There was, oh, what was it? This has happened before, but I don't remember how I fixed it. One second, I'm just gonna go down to my PC. Okay, what if we do like this? Okay, I'm back. Let's see how long it'll take before I disappear again. Professional streamer here, same guy that described the entire book review without breathing. Hey, that was a cool thing. I love that format. And I have never said I was a professional streamer. No. But I have not streamed, and I did take everything down in the meantime. Yes, I am indeed back. See how long it'll take until I stop moving again. I don't. Oh, that bugs me because I know I had this problem like a year ago and then I fixed it, but I don't remember how I fixed it. It was something really, really easy to do. Oh well. Okay. So here, well, finally we're getting into the meat of things. Only took me 20 minutes to read those pages. I'm really hoping that you would freeze on a really stupid frame so I can make fun of it. Oh, Flame, you are... You have a weird sense of support, you know that? So here we go. What they had found out. And then I think Rene had said, I'm not going to find it because, well, I can't really search in a document like this. But I'm pretty sure, because chapter 12 starts with Rene talking about being at war, and sometimes you gotta do stuff you don't want to. So I think that's sort of what we want. Like that's going to be the catalyst for Vespa deciding to go in and confront. I guess I can show you. Livestream says, when was I ever supportive? The way I do support is best described as kicking them forward. Well, you know, I guess that's a sort of support at least. As long as you're aware of it. So chapter 13 here, we have the main plot. We want Vespa to confront Grand Protector Baldric. Turns out that Affair is going to be back. Hey! I froze again. Hey, Miri is here! Hello, Miri! It's so good to have you here. And I might just do this without... I'm gonna try resetting my camera. I might just do this without my face cam on it. How are the? You know what? I was doing pretty well, and then my camera started acting up, and it keeps freezing on me for no reason whatsoever. Which was granted, that was the stupidest frame you managed. You know, don't say I don't know how to please my audience. How are you, Miri? How have you been holding up? No worries on the second camera. We're here to see you right anyway. That's true. That is true. It just annoys me because it shouldn't happen. I don't really know why it keeps on happening. Okay. Well, I guess we'll do this without a face cam. for the rest of the stream. Maybe I'll check in once in a while and see if it works or not. Because it is working, I can see that. It's just my PC that's being stupid. Mary said, I'm doing okay. Happy to be here once again. Well, I am so happy to have you back here. So good to see you. So, let's see here. It says, turns out Affair is back and have a meeting with Baldric, son of the evening, and his squire. They're inside the temple going over the Ascendant's baptism ceremony. Specifically the drinking of blessed water. Drinking of blessed water. As Vesper interrupts them, Vesper gets scolded and asked to wait outside the temple for punishment. And there's a third attempt at Vesper's life. She is grabbed and swallowed by a ball of water that slowly drifts towards the well that she hates. And as Vesper is grasping for air, trying to break the bubble, Lemon is too, trying to break it from the outside. The bubble breaks and Vesper falls into the well, thinking it was the son of the evening and what he wanted all along. You should just do a pose with your face and wait for it to freeze. You know, right now, my Streamlabs won't even allow my my camera to activate. So that's cool. It's very cool. Thank you, Streamlabs. And you know what? Of course, I was talking into the camera. There's no need for that. Of course, it was working pretty much the entire time that I was. It was working pretty much the entire time that I was not rehearsing, but I was testing things out. So of course it stops working when we're live. Actually, it's so great. I love it. You don't use OBS. I use Streamlabs OBS for live streaming, and then I use OBS Studio for recording stuff for my long form videos. Actually, it's just to have them separate, like separate profiles and separate scenes and all that. But Streamlabs have a lot of extra features just built in that works with live streaming. So that's sort of the reason why. But right now, I don't like it. Alright, let me just try something again. It's probably not going to work, but if we don't try, we'll never know. Hello. I actually have a I do have a PNG of my face, but that I use for some videos where I like move my mouth, but I don't think that works so well. Hello. Okay. So here's my face. Enjoy it while you can. Okay. Okay, no more putting it off. Let's get to writing. So we want Vesper to We wanted to have like this argument with, well, herself basically, but it's going to be with Lemon, and like she is imagining an argument with her pet, right? To oppose before it freezes. There. Oh no, it didn't freeze. There. Oh no. 45 minutes into writing and still hasn't begun writing. Average writer's experience. Exactly. I'm just showing. It's what I was talking about in the beginning of the stream. One of the days here, I spent 2 or 3 hours writing, and I'm not exaggerating, writing less than 100 words. And I wasn't even like, I was actually sitting down, staring at the paper, staring at my background stuff. And I just didn't know what to write. Like less than 100 words in 2 or 3 hours. That was terrible. Then I was looking at our word progress during NaNoWriMo, and it was like 2,000 words every day. And that was just, fudge. Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Convincing anyone else of what they have found out. Maybe it would be for the best to just demand the Grand Protectors, the Grand Protector attention. If he would listen, unlike anyone else, a punishment punishment for being out of order, was a small price to pay. Was a small price to pay. This is a weird sentence that I guess as you can probably see, I am definitely not shy of making weird sentences. That's not something that improved during the last 4 months, 3 months. Small price to pay. To save his life. This feels good. Feels weird, can I just say, to be back here and actually live, but it feels good. But I can also feel like I need to get into some sort of rhythm again. With this. But we'll get there. We did get the face cam to work at least for more than 2 minutes. Miri says, I'm so happy, man. I've missed you. Ah, thank you, Miri. Honestly, I've missed this and you guys too. Just stop talking and do it. There's no other way. But when I talk, I don't have to write. Even though I want to write. Renaith. I think we need to give this guy a nickname. Like Ren or something. Like something that's just easier than that specific A. Rene did say that sometimes you have to do what's right. Even though you don't like it. You don't like it. Didn't he? Ren double D. Yeah. It's like a Ed and Eddie situation. If anyone of you ever saw and remember that show. Greatest show on Cartoon Network back when I was young. But yeah, I think I'm going to call him Ren, but it still needs to be established like way earlier. So for this first draft, it's just gonna be called Ren 8th. But Ren is just so much easier to read and say, right? It was something that really... My parents read Fly, my short story. And so the way I use names is that all my names, I don't know if you guys remember this, but all my names mean something. They have a meaning to them. And there's naming convention for each race, species and so on. But the dragons are really weird because you have Vurusu, you have Parthisax, you have Ilikasi. And my parents, who are not fantasy whatsoever, so you know, it's like a French advice, I guess you could say. But they were like, it was good, it was well written, but the names really stopped me in my tracks. And I think that's a valid concern, even though they're not fantasy, they don't know, like usually fantasy stuff have weird names. But I do think it's a valid concern. So that was just sort of like an eye-opener. Sometimes it's good to get advice from people outside of your target group, right? It's also why it was quite important that Vespa had a easy name to pronounce and read. That it was a scooter as well in real life, I had forgotten. Oh well. I'm not want to talk with long names. I could have chosen Dominic, but instead went with Dominique for no particular reason. But that's still a people person name, right? I'm talking about weird fantasy names like Renaid, for example, or Ardarid, his spirit bound, or Carl in Want that we wrote before we started on this. Gwilfane, his spirit bound. Or in Calamity we have Huorhun and Tuwei Han. Renai is good. Well, I'm not... I don't think I want to change his name, but I just think it's probably better to have like a nickname and then only use Renaid, the full name, when things get like it's a dire situation or something. Miri says minor pretty short and common for the series I'm working on. Nice. That's a good way. It's also easier to come up with because sometimes my naming just takes forever. Yeah, exactly, Sarah. It just needs a nickname. And I'm thinking we should establish that really early in the story that his nickname is Ren. Just so it's... that's the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, Miri, how is it going with your stuff, by the way? And Sarah, that for that matter, I don't remember. I already forgotten if I asked you when the stream started if your writing was going well. Miri says, but the world, like land, is kind of rough. Right, yeah. But there's also a joy, right, to have cool names, to come up with them. The city they live in is called Astrum. It's a nice name. But like it's interesting, it's short, but it's also a bit, you know, it's a bit, I want to say out there, but it's mystical, right? Astrum, I immediately think of astrology or something with the stars in the universe, which is inherently mystical. That's cool. Sarah says, going well, working on it with your stream on the other monitor. Oh, that's lovely. Thank you so much for having me. So good. Vespa turned her face to lemon. Who responded with low chirps and by pressing himself up against her nose. She took that as a yes. even if she could hardly see the little bird. The little bird without becoming cross-eyed. Totally cross-eyed. Oh, damn it. Cross-eyed. Here says another is Dravenport and Ilya. Mine have hit the halfway point and I'm ready to be done. Good thing you just only got half of it all left, right? Dravenport sounds like it sounds like a really old established place. It's very traditional. It sounds like a very traditional fantasy name, actually. I don't quite remember. Are you writing fantasy? You aren't, right? It's like this dystopian thingy, if I remember correctly. Ilya is beautiful. Cross-eyed. It was indeed the right thing to do. Vespa already knew that it was the right thing to do. So she took a deep breath and exhaled with a sigh. Deep breath and exhaled with a low sigh. Making sure that Lemon was quiet. The two crawled. Nope. Crawled through one of the tall windows. Miri says that's where the world started. The universe is very fantasy, but the first series is meant to be non-fantasy. A world that turns to fantasy. Oh, that sounds cool. That was like Shannara Chronicles had something similar, didn't it? It was like way into the future. After humans had had destroyed themselves basically, and from in a world war, and from the radioactive warfare, new species emerged, like elves and so on. I remember watching. I never read them. I haven't read them yet, but I remember watching the season 1 of Shannara Chronicles, which was, I thought it was all right, but it didn't get a good. It wasn't received well. Anyway, one of the things that I thought was really cool was that as the characters were walking through forests or deserts or whatever, there would be these remnants of our world. I remember a scene where they're just casually walking past a rusted helicopter that has been like overgrown by plants and trees, and they didn't even notice it. I just thought that was such a cool world building, to show, oh, this is our technology, so we must be way into the future. Westworld did something similar, even though that wasn't fantasy. I don't know if you guys ever saw that, but one of the things they did to show that oh damn it, my stupid camera. One of the things they did to show that they were in the future was to play songs like in the saloon, the piano that would play on its own. It played like Painted Black, I think Sweet Child of Mine, like these rock hits from the 60s, 70s, and 80s. But it played it in this Western tune. So it was like their way of showing, hey, we're in the future where this music from our time is being played on a piano in this saloon type way. I just think that what I want to say, Miri, is that there's plenty of cool things you can be doing to show. I hope you're doing that as well when you get to it, to show that the world has progressed from something completely different. And by the way, that will be the last you will see of my face for the rest of this stream, because, well, I don't want to bother actually with trying to fixing it live. It annoys me. I had to crawl through one of the tall windows and into the temple. And damn it. And into the temple. Maybe it was. Maybe it was her. Maybe it was because she knew she was gonna get in trouble. I want to say something like, Vespa didn't know why she was being quiet and sneaking. Maybe it was because she knew she was going to be in trouble, so she was nervous. Something to that end. I'm not quite sure though. I think I really need I think I really need to have my hands in the picture now that my face is not there anymore. Because if they're gone, it just looks like it's still. It's just me streaming a still photo. So I need to be aware of that. Maybe it was because there's a hair on my pen. Maybe it was something. Yeah, it does feel odd. It does. It looks weird. Maybe it was because she knew that she was supposed to be asleep at this hour. Or because she knew that she was, well, that was actually the same words, same 5 words twice in a row in the same sentence. I'm not saying that it's bad, but maybe it was paranoia, but she chose to be extra careful. Yeah, that's where I want to end with this sentence. Something to that end. She was about to step way out of line by confronting the Grand Protector, Grand Protector directly. Or maybe it was just because she feared the punishment she was about to receive. She was about to receive for missing the evening prayer. Missing the evening prayer. Or, or maybe it was all of the things once. All of the things at once. But Vespa chose to walk slowly and almost sneaking, almost sneaking. Mary says you could change the second repeat to all that she was. You just cut the extra word. Yeah, I definitely think you're right on that. Yes, that would make more sense. Go like this. Cut, maybe. I even say maybe in my comments. But like I figured out when I finally managed to finish chapter 12, I guess I didn't figure it out, I knew it already, but you know, first drafts it's okay if it's a bit shit. We'll fix it in post. And silently down the aisle towards the reservoir. Reservoir of blessed water. I don't remember if that had an actual name. Probably did. It's been so long. Name. Yeah, first draft is always rocky. It's learning along the story. Exactly. Each story is different. Yes. And that's okay. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. There was movement. there was movement. From the gathering. And Squire Ronin emerged. I'm not sure if that's the right word. Word. Emerged from behind one of the great pillars, one of the great columns, one of the great columns. He's beautiful. Yay, that was page 187. I'm so close to finishing this book. 188. Oh yeah. New page. Let's go. That's like, what is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 pages left of this book. Good thing I'm not gonna hit it tonight, but good thing that I already have the 3rd book. New page hype indeed. Oh, it's so good to have you guys here to hype me. Oh, I've missed it. I missed it so much. It's beautiful. Long blonde hair. Let's just go blonde hair. Beautiful blonde hair. Flowing in contest. With his blue cape as he walked with purpose towards the entrance. Mm-hmm. My software scrolls, so I don't have a new page hype, but I do have a new chapter hype. You know, new chapter hype is much better, I would say, than just a new page. Did you just finish a chapter? Because if you did, then I applaud you. I honestly don't know. So like I said, I have 5 pages left here, and then we have another. I have another one of these books, and that's like 92 pages. I don't know if that's enough. Oh, that's me. That's me frozen. Yes, Lola, now on a snack break. Wow, I applaud you. Well done. So well done, Miri. Woo! Okay, so we're on chapter 13, and I have, give or take, 100 pages in my a new notebook. So that's 100 pages for chapter 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Maybe 21 is the epilogue. Wait, when did I... I thought chapter 20 was going to be my epilogue. When did I change that? Oh, we have 3 road back. Okay. Well, I need to fix the story so far then, because that only goes to 20. I like, maybe I have to buy a 4th one of these notebooks. And I feel like if I do, I'm just gonna use like 10 pages or something in it. Well, I guess we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it. I still have one more of these. I still have a notebook of almost 100 pages to do. Maybe the chapters won't be as long as well, they're definitely not going to be as long as chapter 12, but we'll see. So that was Squire Ronin out of the room. Vespa. Actually, let's not start with that. Like I was saying, Vesper was close enough. To here. To here, hi chapter. Win. Chapter Arwen now. Speaking as he was holding. Proudly. Showcasing. Is that a word? Well, it is a word, but does it make sense in this context? I don't know. Maybe. Showcasing. on the large silver cup in his hand. Silver cup. Cup was decorated with scenes from what's that word? Hello. Scenes from prædikenen. What? Hello? Did I disconnect my keyboard? What? I must go back to writing. Yes, you must. And good luck, Miri. Wait, is this my keyboard? Oh, it was. Okay, well, you couldn't see that. Okay, I did disconnect my keyboard. Wow. That was one way to do things. So I was looking for this word. Prædiken. Lectures, I guess. Sermons. Sermon. Not really what I was looking for. Maybe Discord is not. Maybe it is just sermon. I feel like I should have used sermon previously. From these sermons. From the sermons. Maybe it should be decorated with themes. I'm thinking that there should be like you know, this would be scenes from like the scenes from the Bible depicted on various religious artifacts, Christian artifacts, of course. I don't really have any. I don't really have any from the teachings of the 5 pillars. I haven't come up with any. Maybe we need to do that at some point, but maybe not now. What are they called? Should be like religious stories, biblical stories. Not called allegories, are they? Allegory. Well, that didn't work. Maybe it is actually allegories I was looking for. Often used in religious, moral, and political. Yeah, okay. Alright. Decorate with scenes from the servants. But yeah, we should probably come up with scenes. Come up with one. Come up with one. I don't know if this should be sermons or teachings. Teachings? Should probably be teachings. From the sermons. Okay, I was looking over at the stream and was worried that it was frozen as well, but it looks like I'm good. It looks like we're good. Just the paranoia of my cameras shutting off and freezing up. Anyway. For the actual baptism, I think I'm ending with baptism instead of ascendance. We did write ascendance all the way throughout this first draft, so maybe we just say ascendance. Ascendance. And then we go here, we say baptism. Because baptism is actually something that has to do with water. Which, you know, the paladins are all about water magic. So. We will take blessed water. From this bliss basin. The high chapter. Turned slightly and pointed to the basin on the side of the reservoir on the side of the reservoir. Dedicated to the pillar of vigor, pillar of vigor. He didn't. Oh my god. Yeah, maybe it's because I'm live streaming, but I feel like my handwriting is worse than it usually is. But I guess that's maybe that's just me. He didn't speak again until the Grand Protector what did he do? He cleared his throat. Cleared his throat. Mary asks, is it a different angle because of the camera? Which angle? This camera? It should be the same. This camera should be the same angle, but I'm not entirely sure because I've used the arm that this camera is mounted on. I've used that for other things, so this might actually be closer than it usually is, but I don't actually know. If you're talking about my face cam, well, if you could see it. Oh, that, right. Your hands are book, are they different when you don't stream? You know, that makes way more sense than what I was thinking your question was. Yes, they are actually. Now, I can't show you because my face cam isn't working. But usually I'm much more hunched over the book. My head would probably be where this camera is located actually. And right now I'm more, because of the stream setup, I'm actually more not laid back, but I am sitting more back than I normally would. So you might actually be right. That could be why I feel like my handwriting is worse. That would make tons of sense actually. Thanks. I wonder why I didn't think of that. It seems so obvious. And put it into the cup of vigor. Into the cup of the vigorous oath. Vigorous oath. Vigorous oath here. From which the squires and their knights, no, paladins, I'm sort of coming up with a ritual on the fly here. That's strange. Amir says, I know it would be hard for me because my longhand is normally done at an angle. So if I have a straight paper, my words go slanted. Interesting. So do you have like a stand or something that you put your paper on to angle it? Almost like in what are they called when the one animators use? Old-timey animators. I've actually been thinking of getting one of those because I noticed that when I was writing, I am really, really hunched over. You can't see that right now, but if you could see me on the face cam, you would see me be really hunched over. So I have been thinking about getting this, like sort of a stand or something that I could use. Because I don't think it's a good thing for my back to have to be so hunched all the time. But just put it on your lap. Oh, okay, yeah. So, you know, the normal way of doing things. So do you write by longhand a lot? Is it for journaling and stuff? Squires and their paladins. Drink. After recital. So you're journaling and lists and you draw. Oh, you draw as well. Cool. Do you draw stuff that you imagine for your book? Vesper was near enough. Near enough now. That she could easily be spotted. And lemon. And lemon. there's like a really loud music coming from a parking lot, like behind my building. What's going on? It might be from a party in another building close next to mine. That makes more sense than it was if it was on the parking lot. Vesper was near enough to easily spot it. If anyone looked her way. Their way. I don't know if I want to like be explicit and say like, but she remained yet unseen. My god, it's really loud, that music. From outside. It's kind of throwing me off. Miri says, yes, I've always been super creative. I'm definitely a jack of trades. The jack of all trades is a master of none. I think it's awesome that you're super creative. And that you found so many outlets for your creativity. That's cool. You know what? Jack of all trades is a master of none. I think myself to be a little bit of a jack of all trades. Yeah, it can feel a little bit weird sometimes when you're like, okay, if I really put my back into this, I would master it in no time, but there's so many cool things to try out. I don't know. I don't know what I want to say with this, where I'm going. Just know that I too feel like a jack of all trades sometime. You know what I just realized? I don't have a lot of I don't have a lot of descriptions of like what she's wearing. I guess she would be wearing tunics and stuff. That's probably something that needs to be a bit more on the nose. But I'm not gonna bother with it right now. What is she wearing? Of course. Oh, I forgot. And yet, they were still unseen. I love that I can do a lot in my life. Yes, that's a good thing. That's such a good way to look at it. And just be open to trying new stuff, right? That's always great. They remained. Is that a better word? They remained. Of course, we will change the blessed water of the basin. Damn it. Of the basin. So that you and your squires will be sure to drink it fresh. But we won't do that until the day before the ceremony. For the ceremony. Her knees. Something. Vesper's knees. Her knees. Her knees weak, arms are heavy. The knees. Whoops. The knees on Vesper's small legs. Little legs. I've got little legs. On Vesper's small legs. Felt weak. Now that she was standing. Okay. That was not. I don't know if you guys could hear that, but that was not a phone call or anything. It was my. It was my my speaker that was out of juice, out of battery. I always get such a shock when that happens because it's so loud. You should hear it when I turn it on. It's like the loudest noise in the world. Now that she was standing so close. To the grand. And his entourage. That's probably too big of a word, given how this is supposed to be like a tween novel. Word. Group probably be better. She had hid behind the great column. One of the great columns. So close to the center reservoir, so close to the center reservoir. So close to the center reservoir. Sorry. But she had stopped. Had stopped listening. To the high chapter and the others. Conversation. while she gathered courage. Gathered courage. Keep my pen inside the frame at all time. It took another deep breath and a jump from lemon on her ear flap, on her ear. Isn't that what it's called? Ear flap. No, not cap. The ear. What's the little... no. Earlobe, that's the word I was looking for. On her earlobe. Not flap. Do we call it flap in Danish? Well, that's a great question that I'm not gonna bore you guys with. For Vespa to march out. Grand Protector. Oh, I actually wanted to shout this. And for her to be like a little, not scared, but surprised. Grand Protector Baldric. Vespa called out louder than she intended. God damn, that looks horrible, all this. Vespa. Vesper called out louder. Than she had intended. As much to her own surprise as everyone else's. It's a weird word, else's. Oh, forgot about that. Forgot about having the pen in the frame at all times. I'm kind of chewing on the end of it when I'm thinking. That would make much more sense if I had a face cam that worked. This would where I had my face cam if I had one, as that meme says. Forgot about this. So we talked about Shannara at some point. I think that was a good Shannara Chronicles. It's a good conversation. If that was around 213, if I had one meme. I need to start making my short form videos, short form clips of my live streams. I think I have like almost 100 just annotated but not made from my live stream from last year. Just sitting there waiting for me to pull myself together. She stopped dead in her tracks. Not shocked. How do you spell? No, that's not shocked. This is shocked. Sudden surprise, dismay. It was maybe surprise. Stunned is probably the word I'm looking for. Vesper stopped dead in her tracks. Stunned as she realized just how many That makes it sound like it's going to be a lot of people. Paladins and squires and their squires were staring at her. Hey, Amake Miko, welcome to the stream. Saying, wow, I was just now writing and this came to my feed. Well, I hope you enjoy your stay. I would have a face cam, but it froze, and so I decided to not have it for this live stream while I figure out. So I would greet you with my face. But yeah, welcome. How many heads will be there? Yeah, I think I might have oversold how many there's going to be, because it's going to be the Chapter is there, so he's not a paladin. Grand Protector Baldric is there, he's not a paladin. He is a paladin. Sire Brendan and his squire. No, Ronin has just been sent away. Vesper's sister, Afaya, and her squire is going to be there. And then maybe another paladin who I forgot the name of. This is much better about the head part. It's for, you know, you said people. Yeah, exactly. Welcome so much to the stream. It's so good to have you here. So you're a writer as well. I can tell you that I am writing a tween fantasy book about a little girl who was raised in a paladin order of my own world by the humans there. Paladins are a type of human knight who have specialized in water magic. Vespa, as our main character is called, is not human though, but a fae folk. She doesn't quite know that yet, but it's sort of it's a tale of getting to know who you are, and a lot of the boy who cried wolf. So that's a real quick description. The basic idea of the plot is that early on, Vesper finds out that there is a plot to kill this leader of the Paladin Order, the Grand Protector, and no one wants to listen to her. And things are gonna happen, and Vesper here is going to save the day, basically. And in the meantime, she's going to figure out who she is, a fae folk, and she has a small yellow bird called Lemon with her, who she will spirit bond with, as it's called in my universe. That's something fae folk do. These small hobbit-like creatures. They spirit bond to a companion animal. And that's going to happen at some point. I hope that made sense. Coming of age, yes, exactly, coming of age. It's going to be it's the first book that I'm writing. I have written short stories. I've written 4 short stories so far, almost written 5. And during November last year, NaNoWriMo month, I decided to start on the first book. And it's the first of a trilogy that I've called the Eveningsun Trilogy. Amake says, thank you, subscribe, good work. Nice writing, mine's shit. Oh, you haven't been here long enough. There's plenty of shit to be seen here. So don't be scared about that. Don't be worried about that. That's a cool story. Don't worry, you described it well enough. Good enough. Better than me. You can call me Miko. Well, I will call you Miko. So we have Miri and Miko. That's not going to confuse me at all. So good to have you here. It's amazing. And you even subscribed as well. Thank you. It is so appreciated. So what do you write, Miko? Besides the high chapter and the Grand Protector, and his incredibly big mustache. Incredibly big mustache. I don't know if that's going to be there. I just thought it was funny to have it like a person be here. Miko says, well, I'm currently finishing my debut psychological thriller novella, Yesterday's Cake. Don't trust the name, it's fucked up. It's gonna be out by May. Oh, you even have a set date for it. That's cool. Oh, that sounds interesting. Yesterday's Cake. My mind immediately went to Portal, and there is no cake. The cake is a lie. And then you said, don't trust the name. It's fucked up. That makes it sound like it's like humans are going to be baked into the cake or something. So a novella, how long is that? A novella is longer. That's like 100 pages or something, isn't it? So it's longer than a short story, but it's shorter than a novel. I don't know if there's a set length for it, but just wanted to know how long your novella is. How many words, if you have a word count. Vespa. No, not Vespa here. Sire Brendan. The newcomer, Sire. What on earth was he called? Oh, it's been too long. More paladins, minor characters. It was it in chapter 11? Really? Oh yeah, must have been. Sire Harold, did we really call him that? Chapter 11 is here. Let's find out, shall we? Suddenly, blah blah blah. No, Sire Harold was another paladin of the Vigorous Oath. Whisper stopped. King Walder, the newcomer said. Blah 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 blah. Aggressive. And this is Vespa. Lemon, you don't remember me, do you? Well, I guess it's just the same. We were only a couple of summers old. When I was Squire Hood, blah 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 blah. Sire Reynolds! Okay. Sire Reynolds, that was his name. And his squire, who Vespa didn't know the name of. And affair and squire. Ah, what was a fire squire called? That's a problem with taking breaks from writing. You forget what your characters' names are. Miko said, yeah, I got my whole year schedule fixed. 3 books actually, and even though I was going with my novel first. Wow, also psychological thriller, but disguised as a dark romance thriller. And then I got this idea. No one poisoned the cake. Both of you, nice assumptions, but it's simpler than that. So I actually got this idea while sitting in a bakery a while ago. Speedrun myself and finish it. It's around 60 pages, 7 chapters. Okay, pretty cool. Is it? Are you going? Is it going to be published actually, or since you have such a schedule, are you a published writer, Miko? That would be so cool if you were. Maybe, oh, I hear thriller and my mind goes to people on living, and I thought cake poison looks all nice, but it's death. It's true. Honestly, I did too. I heard thriller, I read thriller and cake, and then I was like, okay, people are gonna die. I need to figure out what. Minor characters. Squire, gods and squires. Reynold, Grand Protector, Miriam, Gravedigger. I don't remember. I like how I just figure out the names and I didn't give them the background and appearance and all that. And even then, I don't have all the characters here. That's so good. Well done, me. He was called Edwin or something, wasn't he? He is now. Edwin. But I'm pretty sure name that isn't correct. Vesper could hardly believe what she saw. When did her sister get back? Miko says her daughter was allergic to eggs and she clearly told Dan Susan, the bakery owner, to prepare an egg-free one, but things mess up and her daughter dies. No! Coincidentally, the doctor who disagreed to treat her daughter was Dr. Susan, older brother of the... What? Okay. You're gonna have to throw a link whenever it's done to where we can read that, because that sounds like a big fun mess, and I say fun in a thriller kind of way. It must have been when Vesper was down in the catacombs. Miri, you're kind of correct. It's a revenge story. But what's a thriller without a secret? Ooh. The teasing, the teasing. Now that's a true writer who's about to publish his story. Mm-hmm. Sire Affair. What is the meaning of this? There's a lot of suddenly there's a lot of question marks everywhere. What is the meaning of this? Grand Protector. Baldric. He asked with a voice. With a voice. Part curious. And part scolding. And where were you for this evening's prayer? This evening's prayer. Now, if I could just write correctly the first time, I would be saving so much ink. It says, so it was a cake, but it's like Cusco's poison, the poison for Cusco, the poison chosen specifically to kill Cusco. Oh, yes. Oh, I just used that for a meme. That scene. I love Emperor's New Groove. Miko says, not good at it yet. I'm a newly born adult, but I love storytelling. Not published yet, will be in May. Going for self-published because traditional takes time. What about you guys? Okay, I think it's cool that you're going for self-published. I still haven't really looked into it. Right now, I'm pretty content with just writing and having something that I'm proud of. But I do publish my stuff on so I guess you could say sort of self-published on my forgottenfantasy.com. And that site can't be reached. What? Okay, so my website is down. That's cool. That's a cool thing to know. All right. Well, it's supposed to be Forgotten Songs fantasy.com. Around 0238 website down. Okay, so I have to look into that. That's cool. Good thing to find out live on stream, isn't it? Check it out next time. After all, we will be meeting again now. Oh, that's good to hear, Miko. But yeah, I put my stuff up on my webpage. So my first 4 short stories are up there, and my 1-minute stories are up there as well. I think there's 4 of those as well. You know, just so I can point to it and say, hey, look at what I'm writing. For this, I have no idea. The plan right now is to, first of all, of course, make the first draft, digitize it, and then when I'm happy with a chapter, I will put it up on my website once that's up and running again. And maybe I'll seek out traditional publishing, get an editor, pay an editor to look at it at some point. I don't really have a lot of ideas how things work. But yeah. I mean, it's a dream to go traditional publishing, right? I'll surely take them out after my final year exam. High school. Oh, you're in high school. Don't tell anyone else. I won't, don't worry. Your secret is safe with us, that you're going to be a published and amazing writer. The high chapter accused. Did he accuse? I mean, she wasn't there. It's not really an accusation then, is it? Whatever. I have friends who are struggling with traditional for years now. At this point, self-publishing is better for now. Interesting. I've also just heard that it's a lot of work. It can be a lot of work. And the thing, like, you don't have... it can be quite difficult to, you know, do all the marketing and stuff. But it sounds like you got it figured out. You sound very confident, so that's good. It's nice. Afea looked at her sister. Her deep blue. Did we say sapphire blue? I don't know. Sapphire. Actually, that should be something that we have here. Oh my god. I haven't written her appearance. God freaking damn it. So much for my background documents. Oh, past me. Miri says, I never wanted to go traditional. I want to control everything about my book and what I write. I don't want a man telling me to do or write. No, that's yeah. I mean, it's a bit of a balance, right? Because I do think people in the industry, of course, they know what makes sense and what works. So, and until you are a proven author, yeah, your word is probably not as valid to them, or in that high regard to them. But I mean, you just gotta prove them, Miri, that you are the next big thing. Miko said both are equal now, both need luck, or just a hook that can get your eyes of book talk on it. I heard book talk was like on the downwards trend, without having a huge idea what that means, but like it's supposed to be really shit. And the deepest part of book talk should love my book, fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, if it's as disturbing as you described, Miri, then they probably will. Amigo said the way I write stuff, I don't think I can handle people telling me to do things the other way. No, that's also something I'm sort of dreading, I guess. Without having contacted a publisher or gotten an editor to look at my stuff or anything. But the way I do things is that so I'm Danish. I write in English the first draft. Then I digitize it. And then I translate it myself into Danish. And it takes a long time, but it's really, really valuable because Danish is a much poorer language than English. We have a lot fewer, a lot less words. So I sometimes have to be more to the point in Danish. So I have to structure the sentence in different, which I then can use in making my English one better. But it takes a long time, and I'm just like, okay, let's say that I got this particular book published. And then I had to do the sequel. Are they going to wait until I have done my usual routine of writing in English and translating it myself to Danish or not? Tradition now just expect us to be some sort of public author. like everyone is born popular. Yeah, I mean it's low risk, high reward to have a popular author, right? You're Danish. I would have never known. Did you not know that? I feel like, okay, one, I know I have a Danglish accent, and two, I thought we talked about that before. But yes, I am Danish. Miko says, you're hardworking. I would not be able to translate my manuscript back and forth. Well, I started doing it because I wanted my family. Some of my family are not confident enough in English. So I wanted to do for them, so they could follow along. And then I found out that it actually works really well for my own writing. It moves my own writing a lot. Danish, which country? Denmark. In Europe. Danish, Danes, we are from Denmark. Sadly, I'm American. Yeah, I don't envy you guys at the moment. In fact, as someone from Denmark, I kind of I don't dislike you guys, but yeah, I mean, stupid leadership. Oh my god, I don't want to get too much into it. Also, there's just like, I'm soon going to end the stream, so let's just leave it there. Hopefully, your midterm elections is going to say something, and get a certain someone impeached. Oh, Mika says, okay, I'm thinking of it, but confusion happens. Don't say you're sorry, no. There's absolutely no reason to that. You're Indian. Interesting. Very cool. I know there are other people who follow along from time to time who are also Indian. That's so funny. Honestly, I never imagined that. I think you might be the third or fourth person to find me from India. I guess that's the power of YouTube. That's amazing. But my soul feels like from Japan. I could sort of guess from your account name that you really liked Japan. When you said you were high school, I just assumed you were American as well, by the way. Sorry for that. If that offends you. I didn't mean to. I just need to heal. But never say sorry for asking a question. Never. By the way. As stunned as Vespa. Oh, this is going to be a shit sentence. If I looked at her sister, her deep blue eyes are stunned as Vespa. I hear we're in a war. I need my leadership people to find yesterday's cake. Yes, the rest of the world needs your leadership to find yesterday's cake as well. I wish I was American, better than being in India. Well, I can't say a lot about that. I try to be really careful with my words there. I wish I lived anywhere else. I can imagine, Miri. I'm sorry that you have to go through it. It sucks for everyone. Except the ultra rich They love it right now. Trying to figure out what was going on and how to respond to the leader of her order. I don't know if that's too on the nose. Too on the news. Miko says, I just don't feel like I belong in this place, mainly because of the pressure of traditional education here. But thankfully I begged my papa into letting me pursue my passion. I'm so happy that he agreed. That's so amazing. It's okay, let's all move to Antarctica. You know what? In case you didn't know, there is nothing a Dane likes more than complaining. But I'm actually pretty happy with where I am. So if you guys move to... You could also come to Denmark. Oh, Miri just said it's cold in Antarctica. Well, it's cold in Denmark as well. So maybe not. I mean... We're a small country, we have small problems. And we're big on complaining. And with that, we're actually done with page 188. So new page hype. 189. And we are closing in on that 200 mark. I love cold. You know, Miko, that sounds like someone who's from India where it's really, really hot. I'd love to live in the UK. The UK is alright. I know a lot of good people there. I think it's a lot of things, a little bit of a shit show over there, especially after they... what is it, 10 years since they removed themselves from the European Union? What was I going to write here? If I looked at her sister, her deep blue eyes are stunned as a Vespa, trying to figure out what was going on and how to respond to the leader of her order. Okay, we wanted a Vespa too. Before she could say anything. However, whoops. Vespa rushed to the Grand Protector. Grand Protector. Miko says, really, Denmark? I'll think of it, but UK. I didn't know, I'm just confused where it should be, because everything is messed up. Every country has their own problems. Yeah, exactly. As South Park said, Denmark is the Canada of Europe. We think we're more important than we are. And what did they say? We don't really matter or something like that. It's quite funny. Miri says, I wouldn't know. My learning outside information is crippled in the walls that have been placed by hires. Actually, my book feeds off the way I feel for my country. Yeah, you know, you write what you know. It's a good way. It's a good outlet, I think, for stuff like this. In Denmark, I'll surely check for colleges there. I mean, I can only recommend it. I think we're a great little country. Like you said, every country has their own problems, but I just think that Denmark is smaller than the problems are smaller than a lot of others. I yearn for a better world. Yeah, it's there's a lot of shit going on in the world right now, sadly. Grand Protector Baldric. There's some, oops. There's something that I must say to you. Please, if you would listen, because no one else will. No one else will. I'm pursuing psychology and storytelling. All I wish for my little life is to write, talk, and die. Definitely not in a nuclear war. That's a nice wish. If only it would come true. I'm sorry. So videos of the No King protest is still going on. Oh yeah, you guys had that this weekend, didn't you? In the US, another one of them. It's wild that you feel the need to have a No King protest. Whoops. Vespa spoke fast and with fervor. Is that the word I'm looking for? Fervor. Not how you fervor. How do you spell it? Fervor, fervor, fervor. Why is it not? What's going on with my So the stream is working, right? Okay. There's something wrong with my internet right now. Miri says, what is No King? I'm Googling. Oh, that's funny that you haven't noticed. Maybe because of Wi-Fi. Well, it's not. I have optic fiber cables, so it's not Wi-Fi. But what on? So it might also mean that my web page isn't down, which is good. Yes. Okay, my web page is not down. It's just something wrong with this tab. Okay, whatever. Tell me it's not another internet lie. I don't think the No Kings are internet lies. I really don't think so. because there are a lot of passionate people over there who stands up to the administration. I say without living there. Sarah says the protests were on Saturday, so they're over now. Definitely real. They happened in my small town, too. Yes. Awesome. Awesome to hear that you guys are standing up for what's right. She spoke fast and with fervor. Trying to make sure that she got to say all and that's going to be the last sentence that I write for today. In case you're new here, like Miko, I end every day with an unfinished word, so that the next day I just have to finish that word and I'm back on track. But yeah, it's going to be all for the live stream. But of course, we need to have a little count of what we managed to do today. So it was almost 2 pages. It wasn't too bad. Being the new live stream in the new year and all. First live stream in the new year and all. So let's have a look here. We have, of course, our master sort of counting. So you do live every day? No. Like I said, this was the first live stream of 2026, and I'm going to go live Mondays and Wednesdays at 8 p.m. Central European summertime now. At least for now. Maybe in the future we'll see if I'm gonna go live there, but that's the plan, because that way I think I can still have time to make long form content and have other things going on. So twice a week is the plan, Monday and Wednesdays. Every second Saturday there is going to be a long form content. On Fridays we have my Friday fantasy quiz on the channel, which is just like a small single question quiz in the community tab. And then I just sprinkle in short form videos here and there. Miri says we need a Discord. I'm sure we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it at some point, Miri. But yeah, I guess you're right. Miko says that's cool. You guys actually work though, right? Definitely not in high school like me. And I am not in high school. I am actually 36 years old, turning 37 this year. But I'm unemployed at the moment. So right now, trying to find work. Has been for a year now, so that's not so good. But I write and do this content project YouTube channel in my spare time, just to have something going on. So yeah. All right. But yeah, I'm unemployed, looking for jobs. So that's also something that I gotta do. Cool 37. I enjoy company of older people because people my age just don't understand me. Well, if you want weird, this is the place. I hope you do. I hope you enjoy your stay. Anyway, good luck. Thank you, Sarah. Let's have a count, shall we? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. There's one page. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Okay, one page and 29 is what we have. So let's go in here. Let's copy this sum here. One page and 29 lines. That gives us 636 words for today, which means we are above 70,000 words in total. I mean, that's all right. And we just need to adjust the bar and the jewel. Let me just go in here. And I press this, and that should be all right. Oh yeah, the progress bar is here now. Actually, that's the wrong progress bar. Okay, so let me just see. Oh, it's been so long since I've done this. Okay, first up, we do the text. So the progress is now. Hello. Progress is now. It was 70,000. 70,451. Okay, that should have, yes. And then I go in here and we go to the progress bar. We say you transform. And we need you at 47. And then the jewel, we're going to move you as well to 16. There we go. And I guess I have to do it here as well, don't I? Yes, I do. Because okay, so I need to figure that out. I don't want to update this twice all the time. So this was 9647, and then the jewel's new position was 1316. Okay. Miko says, what kind of jobs, if I may ask? By the way, I'm employed too, because I don't attend school. I've been homeschooled since grade 7. Zero real life interaction with actual humans. Miri says, I prefer my cats. Cats are awesome. So I do marketing and social media. And I recently, my last job was for Blast, a esports tournament company, Counter-Strikes, yes, in Counter-Strike and Rainbow Six, Dota, Fortnite, Rocket League, and Brawl Stars. I think they are covering. Yeah, I used to work with that until I quit because stuff. Good thing that you know about it. Banger? Yes, Counter-Strike is a banger. It's a great esport. Okay, and those will be the last words of my first live stream for of 2026. I just want to say thank you guys so much for dropping by. And I hope to see you Monday again. a update video will be out Saturday, where I just talk a little bit about. Well, I'm going to talk about the live stream and everything that happened with my book recently. So that's going to be out Saturday. I hope you'll see it. Other than that, just I hope you'll like this stream if you haven't already, and maybe even subscribe to me. And I hope you have a great day, a great night, a great time wherever you are. And remember that we write our own stories. Bye, guys. So good to be back. So good to talk to you all. Bye.